To all the Trekkies out there, welcome back to our channel. I hope you're all doing well and are as excited as I am to dive into the best episodes of Star Trek, the original series. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. And then with that said, let's get started. As a lifelong fan of Star Trek, I've had the privilege of immersing myself in the galaxy far, far away for countless hours. Um, um, and if I'm being completely honest, I can confidently say that these three episodes stand out as the finest hours of the original series of uh, each one offers a unique blend of action, drama, and character development that resonates with viewers even today. Star Trek, the original series, airing for 3 years, uh, offered numerous groundbreaking episodes. Uh, and then narrowing down a top 10 list proves challenging due to its enduring impact on popular culture. And Star Trek was catapulted into fame, but it all started with the legendary voyages of Captain James T. Kirk, Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy, and Dollar in College. So Gene Roddenberry envisioned a future where humans prioritized exploration above all else. Although Roddenberry's vision was influenced by the 1960s, Star Trek still presented an innovative and forward-thinking perspective on the future. In almost 60 years since its debut, Star Trek, the original series, remains compelling, largely due to the power of its characters and narratives. Characters such as Chief Engineer Montgomery Scott, James Doohan, and Lieutenant Uhura, Nichelle Nichols, who may not have shared as much limelight as the main trio, still made lasting impacts. It's essential to note that Star Trek has expanded into a vast franchise with countless universes, movies, and TV shows, but none of this could have materialized without Captain Kirk and his journeys aboard the USS Enterprise. At number 10, we have a piece of the action. When the Starship Enterprise visits the planet Sigma Iosha 2, they find a society built around the culture of 1920s era Chicago. As Kirk, Spock, and McCoy investigate the planet, they hilariously try to adapt to the local culture. Kirk and Spock don appropriate attire, speak with exaggerated gangster movie accents, and use language that the locals, including mob boss Bella Oxmix, will understand. This episode showcases Spock's sharp wit and Leonard Nimoy's exceptional delivery, which complement each other wonderfully. And so the chemistry between Kirk and Spock is spot on. Not only does the episode emphasize the significance of Starfleet's Prime Directive, but it also underscores Star Trek's talent for effortlessly transitioning between different genres. And number 9, we have the Galileo 7. After the debut of Star Trek, the original series, Leonard Nimoy's character, Spock, quickly gained immense popularity among viewers. As the series unfolded, there was an increasing emphasis on Spock in many episodes, and the Galileo 7 provides a captivating exploration of our beloved Vulcan. During this episode, when Spock leads a science team to study a quasar-like formation, their mission quickly spirals out of control. On the shuttlecraft Galileo, Spock finds himself in an emergency landing on the misty planet Taurus 2, swiftly hostile simian beings assault, causing the demise of two Enterprise team members under Spock's supervision. And as Spock grapples with difficult choices and insubordinate comrades, he starts to comprehend that logic doesn't always hold all solutions. The Galileo 7 offers an excellent platform for developing the character of Spock while also delivering a captivating narrative. At number 8, we have the Doomsday Machine. When Starship Enterprise responds to the SOS of USS Constellation, they discover only one survivor, Commander Commodore Matt Decker. Emotionally overwhelmed, Decker recounts the devastating machine that consumed his entire crew. Later, Decker assumes command of Enterprise, confronting the machine head on, and eventually he heroically pilots a shuttle into the planet destroyer to save others at the cost of his own life. And subsequently, Kirk detonates the Constellation within the Doomsday Machine, making it inactive, boasting a captivating soundtrack and intricate narrative, and William Wyndham's convincing portrayal. The Doomsday Machine stands out as a suspenseful episode that escalates to a nerve-wracking climax. Although it might not receive the same level of acclaim as others, this episode consistently surfaces in top lists and certainly warrants its recognition. At number 7, we have Arena, as the Enterprise chases a ship from the Gorn race responsible for demolishing a Federation base. Both vessels find themselves in a region managed by the formidable Metrons. The Metrons summon Captain Kirk and the Gorn captain down to a desolate asteroid, insisting they engage in mortal combat. Eventually, Kirk devises a makeshift cannon, but decides against killing the Gorn, captivating the Metrons. Throughout his tenure as captain of the Enterprise, Captain Kirk often found himself in combat. However, it's his battle with the Gorn that has left an indelible mark. In this encounter, Kirk demonstrates a remarkable level of resourcefulness, for he quickly understands that he stands no chance against the Gorn in a straightforward fight. Instead, he cleverly manipulates their surroundings to devise unconventional strategies. The episode Arena is one that Star Trek fans still talk about today, and Kirk's act of mercy towards the Gorn encapsulates the core values of Star Trek perfectly. At number 6, we have Space Seed. Upon encountering the adrift SS Botany Bay in space, the Enterprise crew stumbles upon a group of humans who've been in suspended animation for approximately 2 centuries. The leader of this band is Khan Noonien Singh, notorious 20th century tyrant with genetic enhancements. Khan tries to seize control of the Enterprise, but Kirk successfully foils his plans, instead exiling Khan and his followers to the rugged yet inhabitable planet CD Alpha V. As a devoted fan, I'd like to highlight that Space Seed stands out for introducing Khan, a character who later became the central antagonist in the iconic film, starred by Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. However, even without this connection, this episode is robust on its own. It puts Kirk, Spock, and McCoy up against a formidable adversary who nearly defeats them. The narrative delves into the perils of technology and arrogance, all while offering thrilling science fiction action and featuring an intriguing guest star. At number 5, we have In Amok Time. During an episode, it's revealed that Spock is experiencing Pon farr, a unique Vulcan condition. To help him cope, the Starship Enterprise journeys to Vulcan, where Spock intends to reunite with his fiancée, T'Pring Arlene Martell. However, T'Pring has developed feelings for another and challenges Spock to Cal Iffy, a life or death combat. It seems that Spock defeats Kirk in the fight, but he rejects T'Pring upon their return to the Enterprise. Upon closer inspection, it turns out that Dr. McCoy had administered a neuroparalyzer to Kirk, making him appear deceased. In Amok Time, we get our first glimpse of the intriguing planet Vulcan and set the foundation for several significant elements of Vulcan culture that continue to be relevant in current Star Trek series. This episode is particularly significant for both Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, with the moment when Spock recognizes Kirk is alive being a standout scene. Amok Time offers an array of captivating alien cultures, intense battle sequences, and touching character interactions, making it a must-watch for any Star Trek fan. And number much more 7 than they 7 this 7. And number 4, we have The Trouble with Tribbles, and another humorous adventure. The Starship Enterprise pays a visit to Deep Space Station K7 to safeguard a shipment of grains. And during their time off on the station, Lieutenant Uhura receives a tribble from a trader. Not long after, Uhura's tribble starts reproducing at an alarming rate, and these furry, fluffy creatures soon swarm the Enterprise. As Klingon fights erupt, poisonous schemes surface, and Captain Kirk grows increasingly irritated. The Trouble with Tribbles continues to be just as amusing today as it was back then. The classic episode, The Trouble with Tribbles, often found on top lists, is filled with unforgettable and iconic moments from the world of Star Trek. This episode manages to be both uproariously funny yet quintessentially Star Trek, featuring witty dialogue and delightful character interaction. The Trouble with Tribbles has earned such adoration that it was revisited in Star Trek Deep Space Nine during Season 5, Episode 6, titled Trials and Tribulations, as a tribute to Star Trek's 30th anniversary. At number 3, we have Mirror, Mirror. In the event of the Enterprise transporter malfunctioning, Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, Scotty, and Uhura unexpectedly wind up on the ISS Enterprise in an alternate universe, which is ruled by the ruthless Terran Empire. This ship's crew is accustomed to practices like torture and assassination around. While they attempt to find a way back home, they must disguise themselves as their evil counterparts from this universe. However, Mirror Universe Spock, who sports a goatee, starts to grow suspicious of them. Ultimately, Spock from the Mirror Universe assists Kirk and his team in returning home, hinting at a potential rebellion against the Terran Empire by Kirk. To put it another way, Mirror is an exceptional episode on its own merit, but it also serves as the introduction to the Mirror Universe, which can be a significant aspect of the Star Trek universe up until now. Most of the main crew members are given tasks in this episode, and the fact that Mirror Spock shares similarities with the beloved Spock we've grown accustomed to adds depth to the storyline. At number 2, we have Balance of Terror. The episode Balance of Terror is famous for introducing the Romulans and portrays a nerve-wracking chase where Captain Kirk competes against one of Star Trek's slyest species. In this story, Kirk and the Enterprise are evenly matched with the Romulan commander and his ship, resulting in considerable damage for both vessels. The episode maintains an intense atmosphere as Kirk and the Romulan commander engage in a confrontation, and the events depicted have lasting consequences that echo throughout a Star Trek in most of our universes. The episode Balance of Terror begins with a wedding being disrupted, and unfortunately, the groom is the sole casualty during the ensuing confrontation with a Romulan vessel. But this tragic finale is poignant, even as Captain Kirk outwits the Romulans. But it carries greater emotional resonance than the loss of an anonymous crew member, Redshirt, by offering perspectives from both parties in this tense conflict. Balance of Terror stands out as one of the most compelling episodes in Star Trek's history. And finally, at number 1, we have The City on the Edge of Forever, with one of Star Trek's most tragic and effectively told stories. It's no surprise that The City on the Edge of Forever is regularly cited as one of the franchise's best episodes. The episode follows Captain Kirk and Spock as they travel back in time to 1930s New York to search for a frenzied Dr. McCoy. The City on the Edge of Forever combines a classic time travel plot with a stunning love story that feels real and timeless despite playing out in less than an hour of television. Kirk's romance with Edith Keeler, played by Joan Collins, in the Star Trek series seems more authentic than many of his other love stories, which intensifies the emotional impact of its tragic conclusion. Kirk realizes that Edith must perish to safeguard the future, yet this truth does little to lessen the pain of her loss. Many Star Trek actors, including William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, have acknowledged The City on the Edge of Forever as one of their favorite stories in the series. This episode was the only one from Star Trek, the original series, to win both a Writers Guild of America award and a Hugo Award. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with a fun fact. Did you know that the script for The City on the Edge of Forever was written by Harlan Ellison, and it was heavily inspired by his own life experiences? The famous reality distortion field effect, which Kirk and Spock encounter, was an idea born from Ellison's imagination. Who knew that an episode from Star Trek would be influenced by the creator's own story? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.